So we're going to start with just the halacha in the Shulchan Aruch. And we'll go back and we'll see the Gemara and see where it all came from. We'll discuss. So let's start with the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, I did not put the Shulchan Aruch on the pages because I don't want to be too much. Shulchan Aruch says, how many candles does a person light on Channukah? B'layla Rishon madlik echad. On the first night, how many candles do you light? 1. Mikan ve'elach mosif v'holech. From here on in, he adds and keeps going. Keeps adding candles. Echad b'chol layla. An additional candle for each and every night. Ad sheb'leil achron yeshmona. Till the final night, there's 8 candles. Now, the Mishnah Berurah has to point out over here, of course, that we are not talking about the basic mitzvah of Hanukkah. That's even 1 candle. This is already for someone who can afford more than 1 candle, wants to do it on the Mahadran level. You keep going, you add each night. Even if you have lots of people inside the house, right? Husband, wife, 8 kids, whatever it is. Lo yadliku yoter. That's it. You light 1 Channukah. 1, 2, 3, keep going up by the nights. Says the Ramah, V'yesh omrim, there are those of a different opinion, there are those who say, Dekol echad mibnei habayit yadlik. Every single person in the house should light. Okay, the source that's brought here is from the Rambam, which we'll see. V'chein haminag pashut, and that's the standard practice. Right? That everybody gets their own Channukah, everybody lights on the first night, and then you keep going. Okay?
Males?
So if you look at the straightforward words of the Shulchan Aruch, it sounds like everybody, other than the wife, that the Mishnah Berurah explains, that Ishto Kagufo, because the wife and the husband are considered one, she fulfills her obligation with the husband. Daughters are not mentioned here. Straightforward, you read the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah, sounds like the girls should also light. There is a widespread practice for girls not to light. There's a discussion in the Achronim why that is, where it comes from, Ayin Chasim Sofer, etc., etc. Okay, so we see that there's a disagreement between the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. How many Chanukiot do you light in your house? Just 1 for the whole house? Or each person gets their own? And for those who have been paying attention, what you do in your house, what other people do in their houses, Ashkenazim go like the Ramah, no surprise. Sephardim go like the Yosef, the Shulchan Aruch. Right? 1 Channukah for everybody. So where does that machloket originate? I'll give you these wonderful sheets. Look at the Gemara together. Drop something on the floor. And we'll keep going. I will look at the Gemara, so if anybody wants to ask questions, they can ask questions before we get into Chavrusas, groups, whatever, to discuss the Gemara. But basically the Gemara says as follows, Tan Rabbanan Mitzvah Channukah Ner Ish Ubeito. The mitzvah of Chanukah is Ner Ish Ubeito, a candle for each person in his household. Umahadrin, and the Mahadrin level of doing it. Ner L'kol Echad Ve'echad, everyone gets their own candle. That means every person in the house gets their own candle. Mahadrim and a Mahadrin, the highest level. Beit Shammai Omrim, Yom Rishon Madlik Shmona, Mikan Ve'elach Pochat V'holach. On the first day, you go to outside your front door, your Channukah set up, and you light 8 candles. On the second day, you light 7 candles. On the third day, you light 6 candles, and on and on. Beit Hillel Omrim, Yom Rishon Madlik Achat, Mikan Ve'elech Mosi V'holech. According to Beit Hillel, you light one, and you keep going. Amar Ula says, Pligi B'nei, Pligi B'atre Amorai B'marava. This is a machloket between two Amoraim. Rabbi Yossi bar Abin, Rabbi Yossi bar Zvida. Chad Amar, time of the Beis Shammai keneged Yomim Nichnasin. The time of the Beis Hillel keneged Yomim Hayotzim. One of them said that the reason of Beit Shammai was we go by the days as they're coming in. So you start with 8 days, and then 7 days, and then 6 days. You go that way. And Beis Hillel says Lefi Ayom Shayotzim. You like the first day. Now it's 2 days. Now it's 3 days are gone. Now it's 4 days are gone. You go up that way. The Chad Amar and the other one said time at the Beit Shammai keneged Parei Hachag. The reason of Beit Shammai is really because of the bulls of the Chag, meaning Chag HaSukkot. Right? What's the idea? That the bulls on Sukkot, you start with 13 on the first day of Sukkot, 12 on the next day of Sukkot, 11 on the following day of Sukkot. So just like the bulls of Sukkot, you start with a bigger number, you go down. That's Beit Shammai's reason why that's Mahadrid. And according to Beit Hillel, the time of the Beit Hillel, the Mailing B'Kodesh Ve'ein Moridin, that we go up in matters of Kedusha, in matters of sanctity, and we do not go down. And I noticed that I put Rabbi Bar Chana in the English, and I did not put Rabbi Bar Chana here in the Hebrew, which is my mistake. Rabbi Bar Chana basically brings, in the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, that a story between two elders in Sidon, and that basically they went in accordance with the second reasoning. Right? That according to Beit Shammai, the reason is for, in accordance with the bulls of Sukkot, and according to Beis Hillel, it's because we go up in Kedusha and we don't go down. Okay? So that's the Gemara. It needs a sheer equal, it needs time for digestion. So I'll give everybody time to turn to your fellow Torah enthusiast and dig in. To the mitzvah, I'm adding, I'm making it more beautiful. I'm putting this on. We know that the mitzvah is light a candle, right? There was a nace on Channukah that the oil, they weren't supposed to have any oil. They found oil. There was a miracle. It lasted for 8 days. So what do? Light one candle. Light it every day for 8 days. And that's how we're going to, right, publicize this great miracle that happened for us. There's halachas about it. You should put it lower down. You shouldn't put it next to a bonfire. All sorts of things we do put outside your house so people recognize that that's the idea of it. But that's the idea. Yeah.
There is, of course, a question of why do we light the first day, because that was not a miracle.
Yeah, so that's the famous question that we also speak about it over here. That if the whole point is that they found 1 day's worth of oil, right? Because that's the diuk. The Gemara says they found enough oil for 1 day. So we said, well, if they found enough oil for 1 day, there's only 7 days of miracles. There's not 8.
No, that itself was a miracle that they found it.
The miracle that they found.
That's the first miracle.
So there you go. That's Rabbi Snyder's answer.
And some knows another that they divided it.
Yeah, there's several answers.
There's a lot of there's many answers.
There's many answers as to how it is that the first day is a miracle. There's someone that's the other way around. The first 7 days were for sure a miracle. Why is the 8th day a miracle?
Again?
That if they poured, let's say one of the answers is they poured from the cup, and there was still enough oil left in it, even after they poured.
That wasn't Tommy.
So the 8th day is not a miracle.
Or the first day.
The first day was a miracle because they poured and there was still oil left in the cup.
In the last day?
On the last day, so of course when you empty out the cup, that's what always happens. It's not a miracle.
No, but you go back to the same thing. Like they found.
Well, it doesn't help the 8th day question. Okay. So good. So now our question is like this. 1 day, light one candle, we get it. The hiddur is, every person in your house lights a candle. Okay, so let's ask the question. Do we ever see that type of hiddur mitzvah anywhere else?
Yeah, we see.
On Sukkot, when you want to get a Mahudar Esro,
Yeah.
so you buy one for everyone in your house?
No, no.
What's the hitter?
Right. No, but you do get a nicer.
What's to get a nicer Channukah?
No,
Make a bigger flame.
Chanukah is not. No, the Chanukah is the basis for the mitzvah. The mitzvah is not Chanukah. The Chanukah will not be the mitzvah.
The lighting.
And Esther, so it's actual. The lighting is the mitzvah.
Get a flamethrower. That's the hitter.
So maybe get a flamethrower.
no, but
You don't must.
but every person has to have their own thing.
I didn't get one up.
Every person has to have their own. To the mitzvah.
On Sukkot.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a pizza break. Are there more?
No, keep going. I'll until I set up. You got a few more.
Does every person have to have their own pizza?
That's definitely the more hitter way of doing it. This is the Mahadran
The
way.
most similar would be Shabbos candles. We don't do that with Shabbos candles.
Shabbos, you're talking about lighting for in the household?
I mean, you don't see both husband and wife lighting at the same time.
Right, meaning there's a separate question on Hanukkah, on Shabbos candles. Why is lighting Shabbos candles the wife's mitzvah? Maybe it should be the husband's mitzvah. We may not that the wife does it.
Isn't that to put out the flame of the light of the world or something like that?
Is there any answer is that
I
have to go look.
because she brought death to the world, so she has to rekindle the light, the flame that she took out of it.
You know what? Why wouldn't that be either mitzvah and the husband also lighting Shabbos candles together with the wife?
Lighting together with her because it's her tikkun. Meaning, again, so we see that I think you're strengthening the question. We don't see anywhere else that you call it a hitter to have other people get involved. The hitter is to take the mitzvah and to do it in the most beautiful way you can do it. You have a pair of tefillin, you get the nicest pair of tefillin. You have a Sefer Torah, you get the most beautiful Sefer Torah with the most beautiful ksav and etc. Here, why is the hitter everyone participates? Yeah, Yosef, you hear the question?
I hear the question.
Yeah, does anybody think?
Oh, Dave's right there.
Oh,
He got this. He's very good.
Okay, so that's the first question. The second question is now we get to Mahadran and Mahadran. You have you have an answer for the first question? Why is the hitter to give everybody one? We don't have any other mitzvah that's like that. Everything else we think the most better way of doing that mitzvah. We don't divide it up with other people.
Is there no other mitzvah where we do that? At
most people couldn't afford it. You have to give them away to go to the family mitzvah, even at the basic level.
Yeah.
Could you pass this out?
And so why is the Mahadran?
You do, is what you can think of, you want to do, you can go a little more, it's not what you like, you need more, then you do.
But we don't say do as many as you can. We say every person in the house should have their own.
If they have,
That's the Mahadran.
if they have, they do it. And if they
That's
don't,
why it's a Mahadran.
if you don't have to do it, so it's not an all or nothing kind of a deal.
No, you light one candle. That's just like you get an etro.
Right.
And then if you want to do it, make it a mahudar, you go get it with a piton. Or you make sure there's no bladlach on the top. Or whatever it is that you're doing. Okay?
Right.
And then we have Mahadran, which mina Mahadran, which now all of a sudden we're just zooming in a completely different direction. Now we got to go up. We have to change something every night to make a commemoration for the idea of 8. And it's like it has nothing to do with the first Mahadran. Okay? What? Barol Lam Hadras Melech means we should all go to one house and light together.
No,
okay.
no, but we're all.
Is that what we do in the shul?
No, because that's it's a Beit HaMikdash Ma'at.
No, but
What's the choice?
the whole Indian is.
So say one person should light as many candles as he can.
But having every person light many is even the more light you add, each one represents something.
This is like a
But so I can do all that. Why do I have to get the kids involved?
Even more.
Okay, so it could be that we're going to say
Each supposed to
something.
light up the world.
That's right. That somehow the Hiddur of Chanukah, unlike other Chagim, is to get everybody in my house involved. There's a Pirsume Nisa where we're publicizing the miracle, and we want to get as many people involved as possible in Pirsume Nisa. Right? So that's all fine and good until we see the Shulchan Aruch.
What does Shulchan Aruch say?
He says Mahadrim and Mahadrim is just one Chanukiah. The Ramah we can understand. So everybody gets a Chanukiah now, we light 1 through 8. Shulchan Aruch says no, just 1.
What is Mahadrim then? Or what's his, like,
Mahadrim is regular is 1 candle.
according to Shulchan Aruch?
Yeah, he doesn't bring it, Rashi says, because he's talking to people who have money. Mahadrim and Mahadrim, nobody's arguing. Every person would light 1.
Okay.
Mahadrim and Mahadrim, suddenly the Shulchan Aruch argues and says, only the father lights a Chanukiah.
Alright, Mahadrim and Mahadrim.
Yeah, just the father. The Ramah says everybody in the house lights a Chanukiah. Good? Alright. So it could be, if the whole point is that everybody should be lighting, because we want everybody involved in pursuing Nisa, it could be that the whole idea of going 1 through 8 is in itself the highest level of publicizing the miracle. Right? Because now I'm showing that things changed. It wasn't just one miracle, it was like Rabbi Ostraker was saying. Every day was a new miracle. And if the lights are going up, it's not just I'm lighting a candle in a weird way or that we're all lighting candles. It's I'm lighting it in a very specific way that parallels the miracle itself. So now we can start to understand why the Shulchan Aruch may want us to only light 1 Chanukiah instead of lighting everything. Alright, so if everybody could take some time to look at Rashi, Rambam, and the Balatosis. Next 3 sources. Rambam, as we saw from the Ramah, understands that the basic mitzvah of Chanukah is 1 candle for the house, that's it. The Mahadrin level is everybody lights 1 candle. If there's 10 people in the house, 10 candles. Mahadrin, min Mahadrin, now you start every person in the house, you start adding 1 night. So if there's 10 people, 10 candles on the first night, 20 candles on the second night, 30 candles on the third night, 40, I don't know, whatever, up to, and up to 80 on the last night.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where are you lighting these candles? Are they all outside?
Supposedly they should be outside, ideally outside.
And there won't... The idea of defining each day by an additional candle seems to me would get very confusing.
Oh.
If your neighbor is lighting 40 candles on the first night, you're lighting...
So while it's an excellent ha'ara, it's an excellent point you're making.
It's confusion,
And
actually.
Tosfot asked the question 1,000 years before you did.
I'm not surprised.
He asked it, Tosfot asked it.
Yeah, but it was good. Good. It's good. You commented.
That's more impressive, sorry.
Tosfot was asking on the Gemara. Tosfot points out in the Gemara, he says as follows. We have 3 levels. We see the basic mitzvah in the Gemara. We go up to the Mahadrin, and we have the Mahadrim and the Mahadrim. The Machloket Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel is not about the Mahadrin level.
Right.
It's about stage A. It's about the basic one. Right? They're arguing going up, going down. That's about when there's only 1. Can't be that it's talking about when everybody has 1. Why? Says Tosfot, because now it's just confusing. If the whole point of Mahadrim and Mahadrim is I want to publicize the miracle in the best way possible. I want people to see, oh, it's a 4th night. Oh, it's that holiday. There's a 4 through 8. And all of a sudden I walk by your house and I see 80 candles. This last opinion of the Rambam. I have no idea what's going on. Tosfot said you might have a svara that you think that they're going by the 1 candle opinion. Maybe just 80 people live in that house. Right? They're doing the Mahadrin level. I don't know, 80 people live there. It's an orphanage. I don't know what's going on over there. It's a lot of candles. So that's actually Tosfot's question. What's very interesting in the Tosfot, we're going to make a little diuk before we see the Goin, because it's going to make the Goin hopefully even more beautiful. That the Bali Tosfot says like this, the Machloket Behil Beishamai is going on Ner Ishu Beso. A person candle his house would mean the lowest level of mitzvah. Since there is more hiddur when we're doing it just one Chanukiyah. When he adds and continues or subtracts, whether he's going up or down, Beisol, Beishamai, which is regarding the days that come in or go out. Tosfot is going like the first opinion. And the Gemara. By the days that go in or the days that go out. Now there's a riff, which I didn't stick here because the riff looks exactly like the Gemara. Now, what's surprising about the fact that the riff looks exactly like the Gemara is that the riff is not supposed to look like the Gemara. The riff only brings halachic decisions. He does not bring what's called a gadita. He doesn't bring the extra story time stuff. Right? To use an inappropriate term. Here the riff does. And that's going to bring us to the Goin's question on the riff. Because the riff brings the whole discussion about the two Amarayim, one that said it was according to the days that come in and the days that go out, and then there was the second opinion if it was according to the bulls of the festival. If it
riff is at the bottom.
No, I didn't bring the riff himself, I brought the Gro. He was mentioning, he's quoting.
Okay, he's quoting the riff. Yeah.
Okay? Then the Gemara brings a final opinion, it's over here on the English side, about Rabbi Bar Chanan, Rabbi Yochanan, that ultimately the two elders in Sichon go according to the opinion that Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel go according to the bulls of the festival and according to going up in matters of sanctity. So the question is, who cares? My nafkamina. What's the halachic significance? Why is the riff bringing a story that has no halachic impact? Says the Goin. Yeah? The Rambam paskins like the riff. That what? There is a halachic difference. Because if you're going according to the days that are coming in and the days that are going out, now the main way to do a Hiddur Mitzvah is I have to make it clear what day we're on. But if it's about going up in Kedusha,
You just have to have more than
I just have to have more than I had the night before.
Right. You could have technically 1 the first night, 6 the second night, 11
I don't
the
care
third
if there's 80 candles outside. That's not the problem.
Right.
As long as it's 160 the next night.
Or more. No, just more.
Just more.
Just more.
Everybody just adds one candle. Right? So the Goin comes out beautifully from the riff. He learns the only riff, the reason riff is doing story time with us is because there's an actual halachic nafkamina, an actual, I translated nafkamina really well down here.
What was that move?
Halachic application. Or maybe implication? No, maybe that's better. There's a halachic application that actually comes, implication? That comes out of the story, which is to tell us that Heker, having it clear how many nights are there or are not there, according to the Rambam, is not significant. So Tosfot's big question on the Rambam goes away. But it also, as we pointed out, we're going to make that diuk in the Tosfot, comes out very beautifully. The Tosfot, when he asks the question, only mentioned the first opinion. It has to do with the days coming in and going out. Never mentioned the second opinion that has to do with the going up in Kedusha or the bulls of the festival.
But isn't it halacha that one should use the same Gemara, so it shouldn't get confusing as to what night of Hanukkah is?
Like if you're on the third night of Hanukkah, you shouldn't use like a menorah where one's person's on the left side, one's on the right side.
If it's only a matter of time, it doesn't matter.
No, it could be there because since it's one Chanukiah, right? So you see it as one structure. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of halachas that actually discuss, like the Ramah. It's our Ramah that we go like. Part of the reason we go like the Ramah is because the Ramah is really not arguing on either the Tosfot or the Rambam. Why? Because the way we light nowadays with the Chanukiyot, there's distinction between the candles themselves are very distinct one from another, And even the Channukah themselves are distinct one from another. The Ramah himself makes it you should make sure that there's space, that there's a hecker. Don't let it get all mixed up. Make sure they're all clear and distinguished.
Don't put one behind the other.
One from another. That's right. So even the Ramah is trying to take into account both the Balei Tosfot and the Rambam in the way we go lahalach at the end of the day.
How can the Rambam say there's no significance to the number, to tracking the days?
Well, why are you saying that there is?
Because the miracle is that it lasted for 8 days.
The miracle is that it lasted 8 days, that Hashem gave us more Kedusha. Every single day, He piled on more and more Kedusha. So you think it's about the days that are going in and out. We don't paskin halacha like that according to the Rambam. You're making about the number of the days going up or going down. But that's the machloket in the Gemara, and the Rambam doesn't go like that.
Excuse me. The machloket in the Gemara is that the miracle lasted less than
the days.
Lasted less than 8 days.
Everybody
or
agrees
more
it
than?
lasted 8 days, and that's why the Chag is 8 days long. But the way you light, is it according to the first opinion because I'm building up in days? I've done 1 day. Today's my 2nd day. Today's the 3rd day. Or is it about Hashem gave me Kedusha today and He's giving me more Kedusha tomorrow and I'm going to have even more Kedusha the next day? Those are two separate opinions. They're not one opinion.
But both of them involve a period of eight days.
Because Hanukkah is 8 days long. The miracle lasted for 8 days. But whether or not I have to show the outside world that it's about the number of days, that's only according to the first opinion. The second opinion is about the Kedusha. I'm adding for the Kedusha. Good? Okay, so until Rabbi Elishevitz shows up, we can keep going. We can talk about more ideas. So the interesting question about Hiddur, Mahadran, ties into a lot of these things. And actually, Rashi here is very beautiful. Rashi in a turn, in a unique move, not a standard Rashi, translates the word Mahadran very different.
Those are pursue mitzvahs.
What's that?
Those are pursue mitzvahs. Pursue mitzvahs.
Pursue. Sorry. Rashi generally says that Mahadran comes from Zekeli Ve'anvehu, comes from the word Hiddur, comes to beautify a mitzvah, as we spoke about, with an etra. Here, Rashi actually brings a different translation for the word Hiddur. He says Mahadran means Elu Mahadran Achar Mitzvahs, which is using from the Aramaic word to pursue, to chase after. Those who chase after mitzvahs.
Aren't those the same ones that are like, wouldn't they be one and the same?
No. Nafkamina. That everybody in your house lights. If it's about having one mitzvah and trying to make it as beautiful as possible, then, like we said, I should have some, I don't know, maybe I should put, butane or different colors of gases in my menorah to make a funky looking purple flame or something like that, or whatever. Put in different chemicals in there, like they made us do in chemistry class. They burn the different metals. Maybe that's what we should do, right? But no, if you understand like Rashi, Mahadran Achar Mitzvahs means you get people excited to do mitzvahs, now it's beautiful. Here for Hanukkah, the whole point is that they tried to stop us from doing mitzvahs.
Could certainly also have been a big economic pursuit to have so much oil.
So that's a good question. You ask another question. If normally Mahadran means ad shlish, you beautify something up to 30%. We don't ask you to do more than that. Here, if you're lighting 10 times as many candles per night, that's not shlish, that's times 10. But if the idea of Mahadran over here is that because on Hanukkah they tried to tell us, no, you can't bring Torah into the world, you can't bring light into the world, you can't do mitzvahs, the Hiddur of Hanukkah is to get everybody in your house as involved in mitzvahs as possible. I'm going to do the mitzvah, you're going to do the mitzvah, we're all going to be involved in mitzvahs.
You're saying it's not the kamut, it's the fact that you're doing the mitzvahs. You're saying that they try to wipe out Torah from everyone. The fact is that the more people that...
Not kamut, ichud.
Yichud, not
about the
not
yichud.
Not quality, quantity. Not quality, quantity. Quantity. You want more quantity. You want more people doing the mitzvah.
That's it. So the Hiddur of Hanukkah is going to be getting as many people in the house active and connected to mitzvahs as possible.